Okay, we're live. I'm Rebecca, and tonight we're going to have some fun connecting with about 7 different entities and maybe more. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to start with a prayer, which I like to do to invite the presence of the divine. Not that it's not already here, but we're acknowledging it. So you pray however you want to pray. And I say, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, all our angels, all our guides, all the beings of highest light who desire to be of assistance and blessing, we bless you because we know that we are divine as well, and we all have power to bless one another. We also send blessings to each person who is here, who is listening in the future. We just envelop you with blessings of holy light. Greetings and welcome to Jesus Christ and to all these wonderful beings of light who desire to share some wisdom with you tonight. We are grateful. Amen. So I just went to a 3-day seminar last weekend. I'll show you the guy. This guy, he's written a bunch of books. He's actually real famous. I'm late to the party sometimes. But one thing I really liked about his teaching is he was so full of energy, and he started everything off with, what are you grateful for at this time in your life? So I'm going to share something. I'm so grateful for so many things, but I'm really grateful that I manifested a husband that is not only wonderful, all the coffee in bed thing, but before everything I do, I call him up at work, and he's in a motorcycle shop. It's all noisy. And I say, honey, can you find a quiet place and can you bless me? Can you say a prayer of blessing to me? And that is so precious. And it's my desire for every couple to have that kind of relationship that you can bless each other. I mean, I've never had it. I've been married 3 times before, and not one of them would, hi, Zanib, would bless me or think of it, or I wouldn't think of asking them because they thought what I did was kind of crazy. So just within your own heart, what are you grateful for right now? Let's just start off with some gratitude. And you just say it in your heart, what you're grateful for. Okay, so I want to balance our energies. We're going to start with some simple tapping, and then I'm going to go into a little bit of energy to help get you ready to be more receptive. Because here's what I want for you. Whenever I'm speaking of one of these light beings, I want you to be aware of how it's feeling in your heart, because some of them you might just be so hungry for, and some it's like, not exactly my cup of tea right now. But because we're doing preparatory energy work, it just helps everything be easier. It's actually, if you were trying to connect with a light being without any kind of preparation, it'd kind of be like sex with no foreplay. And who wants that, right? Me. Okay, so let's just tap for balance, starting here. Come into balance. 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 Now boss yourself around. Don't be all weenie. Come into balance. 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 And take a deep breath in and out. Now we're going to do a breathing exercise which helps get your pineal gland kind of alert and ready. Okay, I'm going to tell you how we're going to do it, then I'm going to guide you through it. So you're going to point your finger down to the pubic area, okay? And you're going to imagine that you're going to draw a line of white light up here, and you're going to follow it with your eyes. Watch, like, okay, you start with your finger down there and you just drop your eyes, not your head, just your eyes. You're trying to follow it. It's coming up. All the while you're breathing in, and you hold it, then you follow it down. Just your eyes, not your head. And this just gets you in a space, and we're going to do it about 3 times, not a whole lot. If you were at a live seminar, I would do it with you several times, but we have limited time. So this is just to get your motor running. So now, since you're not talking, you can do the other parts to this, which is place your tongue on the roof of your mouth, because that tells your brain, hey, something important's happening, pay attention. It's like an ancient yogi thing. It's called a bhaga. Bert Goldman taught it to me, but a lot of people are starting to do it now. And you're going to breathe in when you're following your finger up. You hold it for a second, and then you're going to breathe slowly out when you're following your finger down. Any questions about that? Okay. All right. So I'll be talking. So just go ahead and point your finger down towards your pubic area and just drop your eyes. Put your tongue on the roof of your mouth and breathe in slowly as you bring your finger up slowly, slowly. Just your eyes are moving. Hold your breath and exhale slowly all the way down, all the way down. Now breathe normally for a moment. Now once more, you're going to bring the line of light up. Drop your eyes, your fingers pointing down. You're bringing it up slowly, 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 and hold it. Try to see your finger above your head, and then exhale slowly as you move down, down, slowly, slowly, and now breathe normally. And last time, drop your eyes, your fingers pointing down, tongue is on the roof of the mouth. Breathe in, bring up that white light. Just your eyes. Try to see behind your head and hold it. Hold it. Now exhale slowly as you move your finger down. Just relax. Everyone should please have your microphone off. Please, Darlene, turn your microphone off. Darlene, please turn your microphone off. Okay, thank you. What, the way this is set up, guess I could make everybody on mute, but I like everybody to be able to talk when it's time to talk. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about a place of connection that was revealed to me by Sanat Kumara, who is a great ascended master. One time I was teaching a seminar and he just came in without saying, I'm coming. Just, and I was wearing a string of pearls. And his energy was so strong, it popped those pearls and they flew all over that whole room, and the room was big, and they just flew like BBs everywhere. And also it gave me a headache because I guess I wasn't expecting that powerful of an energy. But what he said was that the corpus callosum, which everybody's seen the picture of a brain, it looks kind of like a butt, right? But that bundle of nerves way down in there, that's a connection between the right and left hemispheres. And Sanat Kumara said it's like a map system. Now I know that the way the information crosses from the right to the left side is via the corpus callosum. And one of the techniques I teach is non-dominant handwriting, and that actually grows new neural pathways. Well, he says that every being you're ever going to connect to, there's already like a designated spot in the corpus callosum for you to get the information, to make the connection. And the first time you see it, if you've never connected with this being of light, it's just probably going to be like a tiny little pinpoint of light in your imagination. But the more you connect, it gets to be like a super highway after a while, depending on what? Your consistency and your connection. Sherry's shaking her head. You know about consistency, don't you? We just finished, I guess it was a 4-week course on confidence, and we met every single morning except for Sunday. And it just solidifies whatever you're doing because it's consistency. The thing you're best at, think about this, is the thing you do most often. So whenever I'm mentioning one of these beings, I want you, I'll give you the instructions. Just close your eyes and imagine that you see a pinpoint of light somewhere in your corpus callosum. Just play with this. There's not going to be a test, but just imagine that you're connecting and pay attention to how your heart feels. So, first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Saint Therese of the Little Flower. Well, she was a saint. She was, you know, they make you a saint after you're dead, but she only lived to be 24 years old, but she loved flowers, and she often called herself the face of Jesus. Now, when she came to me, I smelled the most beautiful aroma of flowers. And I was looking around like, where could that smell be coming from? And it was when I was writing about her. And my husband walked up to me and I'm like, honey, do you smell those flowers? He's like, no, I don't smell anything. So I guess it's only if you're connecting with her, or maybe she really wants you to know. So pay attention when I'm reading about her and see what kind of sensations you get. And don't feel like, oh, I'm not doing it right, I didn't smell any flowers. Sometimes I think when they come to me, because see, I'm the blabbermouth. I'm the portal master. I open the door. Oh, you taste it. Oh, wow. I open the door for these beings to connect. I can't even count how many beings have come to me and asked me to channel them, but I don't channel anybody just exclusively for a long time because I open the door for other people to do it. I'm kind of like a bridge, I guess, because some of these haven't been channeled and they have a specific reason for coming to us today. And so she says, what matters in life is not great deeds, but great love. And she is, because I ask each one of them, well, okay, you're coming and you're asking people to connect with you. And this part is important, so I'm going to segue a little bit. And my husband says, yeah, that sounds such a good class, but what's in it for them? I know the spirits need humans to continue to do work, but what's in it for the human? And so I ask each one of them, what can you do for people who really connect? Because I'm not talking about connecting for 5 minutes. I'm talking about connecting. And so each one of them gave me a different thing. Now, I want to give you an example of the first time I asked. You see this book? Is it? I had it done in large print too. When Toth the Atlantean came to me and asked me, put my emerald tablets in chapter and verse like the Bible. Can you see that? Because people want to study it and it's too confusing. And I don't know what came over me. I've never done this. I always just say, yes, how can I serve? It was right at the beginning of the pandemic and business was kind of down and I was kind of short on money. And I said, well, what are you going to do for me? You know, halfway joking. And he immediately said, what do you want? Oh, what do I want? And I felt like I had a very reasonable request, and that was just a life of greater ease, not struggling so much, not feeling so alone. And I'm now on my 4th book for him. I just finished Emerald Tablet 6. And I don't know why I don't talk about them more. I should be trying to sell y'all books, right? But anyway, they actually are selling, especially since I did the audiobook. They're just selling. Anyway, what these light beings want you to know is when you really connect, that you are a partner. They collectively said, lose the hero worship. It is not conducive to partnership. If you're partners with somebody, you are a back and forth entity, a partnership. One of you's not down here on the floor begging and worshiping. What kind of partnership is that? That is actually why a lot of people don't really grow in their spiritual life, because they're still groveling and just being subservient, and they're not realizing the divinity that they are and that they can serve. As I've said it, I don't know how many times now, God can't do nothing if we don't help, except the burning bush kind of stuff. Yeah. However, we are needed. We are needed to be that bridge. And we have the right to be partners, not to be all greedy, like, give me $1 million and I'll do it. But what's in your heart that you would like some help manifesting? So a life of greater ease was a simple thing that I requested, and I have a life of much greater ease. Okay, so having said that, each one of these beings is going to tell you that if you decide to partner with them, what they would help you with. So she says, I learned much about drawing closer to God in my illness. She was ill and died real early. Yet I desire to be of service to those who wish to flow love and healing to others, or to be a placeholder. You know, she's would be best matched with someone who does kind of like to stay in the background and hold space, do healing work, and she will be holding space for you and give you a lot of great soul satisfaction. So that's what also deeper healing on a cellular level, healing of ancestral baggage, And if you have a healing practice, it would accelerate and be more financially advantageous, and you would have more soul satisfaction. So I'm just going to ask her if she wants to add anything to that. Now, as I'm speaking of her, I want you to pay attention to how your heart feels and see if you just imagine any sparks of light anywhere in this corpus callosum, this thick bundle of nerves. If you don't, that's fine. But see, just being aware is so valuable. So let me see if she wants to come in. Yes, I have been waiting patiently for 3 of you who are present here tonight to open your eyes to your own healing gifts that you have, because you feel that you are too shy and in the background, and you feel that others have more healing experience and stronger healing gifts than you have. And if you do desire to partner with me, I can assure you that you will feel my soft and loving presence. And you will know that I am with you, and you will know that I am still and always dedicated to the divine. And I desire to continue my service to humanity because my lifetime was so short, and I have not reincarnated yet, as I have been waiting for this time where there would be understanding of partnerships, understanding of communication. And that is my gift and offering to those who feel in their heart to partner with me. And so it is. Thank you, Saint Therese. Ah, how sweet, right? Okay. So were you paying attention to how that message felt to your heart? And maybe paying attention to any visuals you had in your brain space. Okay, so next is Mary Magdalene. And I love what she said. She said, I'm tired of being in the shadows. I served in the shadows. I had to go in hiding, and everyone thinks I'm so holy, and I really would like to have some fun, almost living vicariously through a human who, of course, you're in service to the divine, but you want to speak up. You want to be bold. You're tired of hiding. And if you desired to partner with her, she's going to give you a big old pair of balls. Can I get an amen on that one? Put amen in the chat if you'd like to have a big pair of balls. Okay. So, oh, you raised your hand, Colette. Go ahead and unmute your mic and say what you want. Oh, good. Amen. We want some big old balls around here.
I think
yes, go ahead.
I really think everybody wants a pair of big old balls.
Good, good. Amen. Let's get some balls going on. And some of you men, you might need bigger balls, okay? So, and just use your personality, be yourself. Yeah. All right. So, what's in it for me? She says, she will help give you a peaceful heart, newfound confidence, and bringing joy and being in the frequency of joy. And that will help you get your heart's desires. Do you realize how important that is? When you're in joy, have you ever noticed that when you're in joy, good things seem to happen to you? And when you're all, like somebody said, you catch every red light when you're got anxiety and you're in a hurry, you catch every red light. And when you're not late, you're happy, all the lights are green. What's up with that? Can the red lights read your energy? So, I'm going to ask Mary, are you ready? Pay attention to your heart. Pay attention to your corpus callosum. Listen with the eyes of your heart. No, she's here. So, yes, I am Mary. And yes, I am ready to thrive in joy. I am ready, willing, able, desiring to partner with those of you who are ready to be bolder than you have been. Perhaps, beloved, you have been in a quiet service position, and perhaps as I am speaking these words, you're starting to feel a fire burn within you. I promise you, if you desire to connect and partner with me, and not just a one-time thing, but a partnership of communion, daily communion, you will find your life changing in so many ways. You will find a year from now that you will look back and say, who was that shy person? And you will no longer be tormented by thoughts of what are they going to think? What are they going to think? You're going to have the confidence of your own self, of your spiritual connection. Know that you're protected. By the way, I come with a whole big team of angelic beings, and I am ready to serve in a bigger, bolder way. Are you? Okay. I like that. I like that. So, wow. I'm going to take a drink of water after every being. Now, did you pay attention to how your heart felt during that? Did you pay attention if there were any sparks? We are going to have a discussion in a little bit because I want to hear from you if you have questions or if you had any kind of sensations. You could have some other sensations I haven't even thought of. All right. But I know that paying attention to how your heart feels is very important. Now, Roxy, I don't know how many of you were here a couple weeks ago when I did live psychic answers with Roxy of the Crystal Kingdom. Well, she does channel through me, and she's willing to channel through others as well. And she says, I desire to help those who desire to use the power of knowing frequency. See, she doesn't say, I'm a saint, I'm a deity. She says, I'm a master of frequency. I read frequency and I can tell you how to change it. And I know she gave advice to Lee to tap, she loves tapping, to tap every hour about her new home. And Lee is moving into it. I think it's October 24th. Is that right, Lee?
Move-in date October 26th.
October 26th. And it's almost her birthday. So what a great birthday present. So what's in it for you? You will become super aware of your own frequency and be able to elevate it easily. When you raise your frequency, it automatically affects all people, all species, even seemingly inanimate objects like red lights. When your frequency is high, everything works better. Can I get an amen? Y'all need to help me now. My Pentecostal preacher daddy's, he's always around. He's just like, what? Okay. When your frequency is high, yes, everything works better. You have more money, better health, and a more clear vision. Thank you, Joanne, for the amen. So I'm going to see if Roxy wants to add anything to that. Pay attention to your heart. Pay attention to the corpus callosum. Now, I will tell you what I see with Roxy when she comes in. I don't see her as like a dot on the corpus callosum. She comes as a mist, and it feels like, oh, an eighth of my brain. And if we have time at the end, I'll be taking some of your questions if you like want some frequency guidance, I would call it. So let me see what Roxy, she says, I need another drink, wants to say to you. Yes, I am representing the crystal kingdom, and we have been in many dimensions, in many realms, and we are connected to all crystals everywhere, even those, even crystal cathedrals in the bowels of the earth, crystals on other planets, the tiny little crystal shards I've spoken about that are even now in your body, in your being, all crystals everywhere, even the ones in some electronic equipment. We are the power of frequency. We understand frequency. We understand how to manipulate frequency for the good. There are some beings who also understand how to manipulate frequency for the not so good. And it's very important that you always, no matter what being is approaching you, that you always pass them through the lens of your heart to discern if they are a good match for you and if they are of the highest light. For there are hierarchies of beings in many realms. If you choose to work with me, I will require dedication, as any light being who desires to be in partnership will. This is not a plaything to pick up and put down and pick up and put down. For Spirit is calling now those light workers who are interested into much greater service, into dedication. And yes, you will be rewarded. Yes, you may ask for dividends in the partnership, so to speak. So pay attention to how your heart is resonating with this message. I would be a very good fit for someone who does not specifically embrace a certain religion or feel it has to be, for I have been in many dimensions, in many realms, and am aware of many, many different kinds of religions, of beings, of deities, and honor all that is of the purest light. I am Roxy. Okay. Now, how did that feel to your heart? How did that feel? Did you feel anything in your brain? All right. Now, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to talk about something else. Then I'm going to do some more. All right. So I'm going to talk to you now about Isis, also known as the Great Midwife. People don't know this, but she is also known as helping to birth new things, new programs, new beliefs, new ways of being, and birthing newness. How many could use some newness in their life? Can I get an amen? Who wants something new? All right. So who would like perhaps a fresh start in life, like a rebirth? What's in it for me? she says, partnering with her, you'll be able to look at every circumstance and see it with new eyes. Brilliant solutions to every problem will seem to come from thin air. This will alleviate many heavy burdens, and you will be able to track more of what your heart desires. That is partnering with Isis. Let me see if she would like to say anything more, adding to that, to give you a personal message. So, is there anyone here named Margaret? She may be asking us to pray for my friend Margaret, who's very sick. Okay. She wants me to lead you in a meditation, so I will. So just close your eyes and relax completely. Let your arms relax. Let your thoughts relax. You're getting whatever you need just by being here, being in this space, allowing yourself to be peaceful and relax. And imagine now that you were barefoot, and it is long ago, and you were in Egypt. You were walking on the floor of the Great Pyramid. Because you're barefoot, you feel the coolness of the stones beneath your feet. And breathe in and breathe out. You notice at the very apex of this pyramid, way high up above, there is a brilliant blue crystal. There is an apex in the very top, and the light from the sun is shining down through that blue crystal. You walk underneath that ray of light because you're transfixed by it. You look up, and that blue ray seems to position itself right on your third eye. And as you allow that blue ray to penetrate your third eye, it goes all the way back from your third eye to your actual pineal gland. And it begins to tingle and vibrate. And the stones within your pineal gland begin to vibrate and activate. And it becomes as the Ark of the Covenant, and a golden beam of light shoots up through the crown of your head, moving up to join with the blue ray coming down. And it begins a cycle of you giving of your divinity and your receiving of divinity. And it creates this perpetual, endless cycle of giving and receiving. Now, I want you to do this to empower yourself, because many of you have been giving too much and receiving too little. This exercise will help you bring into balance in the etheric realms the concept of giving and receiving in balance, which will in turn flood over to your human activities. So with your will, shoot your own golden light from your pineal arc of the covenant up to the apex of this pyramid. And as you receive the blue ray of light down into your third eye, make the streams equal. Use your imagination. You can do this. Make the streams equal in velocity, equal in size. Now play with this newfound power that you have and imagine that the blue ray giving is increasing in volume and velocity, and you are receiving more than you are giving. What a concept. Wow. And now do the reverse and imagine that you are enlarging your ray by your power of your own divinity, of your golden stream. You're enlarging it and making it larger than the blue ray coming down to you. And feel that you have the power of your own manifestation. And as you begin with this, it shall be manifest in other ways. And now bring them back to equal so that the giving and receiving are balanced. And now those rays form an infinity loop and go down into your heart. And imagine that the electricity and the function of your heart is also balanced. Now imagine that you're shutting off the vision, except that you're still in the pyramid. You're feeling so powerful. Wow. You mean I can begin with spirit and it will manifest into the outward world? And now Isis appears to you. And she says, we are birthing a new thing, are we not? And this is my gift to you this night, this meditation. For as you realize you have the power of balancing, giving and receiving, and as you practice this, so it shall be. She puts her arms around you and she whispers in your ear, you do have the power. Stop being a mouse. Realize the lion, the lioness that you are. And so it is. Take a deep breath in and out. Woo-wee, I liked that. That was awesome. Thank you, Isis. Okay, so we're gonna take a little break. We're not going anywhere. I'm just going to tell you about the seminar that's coming up in October. I know Katie's already coming, some other people that I can't see. There's 3 spots left, but I want to tell you about it in case you haven't read about it. So a few years ago, I met this great saint. His power was so overwhelming and he made a way for me to go to India. And while I was there, he said, there's so many light beings and we want to be of service, but we need to be matched with the human. I'm not talking about you talk to them every now and then. I'm talking about being a spirit mate. And he said, let me give you some examples. we're the sunlight, but you're a prism, speaking of a person. And the sunlight's beautiful, but when you put the prism up there, it just comes into glorious rays. And he also said, think of a country that has a disaster, and a lot of other countries send aid, but if there's no humans, honest humans, to distribute it, the poor don't get anything. And he also said, think about gasoline, a potent fuel. It's a potent fuel, but it doesn't do any good until you put it in an engine and start the car. We're the gasoline and you're the engine. So he asked me to have a seminar, which I did, and to do processes. This is the kind of seminar that you're kind of in a daze afterward, because the processes and the system is so precise in moving you from barely connecting to, by the time you leave, being able to channel. And every day, all day, we're doing different processes. It's a system. And there's some questions that I've noticed, and I'm some like Q&A. So I'm going to read some of these to you. Pardon me while I read. So one question I get is, how do I trust a light being is wanting to connect with me and that they are from God? Well, part of my system is using a light dark meter. And then the one true test is always, they cannot lie to Holy Spirit. And I'll go into that if you decide this is for you. And another question I get is, I don't know if I have what it takes to connect, to deeply connect with a light being. And that's a two-part answer. Number one, you would not be attracted to this event if you were not already chosen. And number two is that my teaching model has a system, which is a series of processes that makes it easy. And besides, remember, the light being needs you. They're here bribing you with, not bribing you, but they're offering to be in partnership and do things for you. How do I know this will work for me? It will work if you follow the steps of the system. Now, one thing that will solidify this for you is that I'm having 21 days of daily follow-up. That means not Sunday, and maybe not Saturday, but 5 days a week at least. We're going to meet every morning. If you can't make it, it's recorded, but you're going to have channelings, you're going to have connections. It's going to solidify the partnership. It's like maybe the honeymoon of a marriage. It's daily communion. The reason I am so good at channeling is only one reason, not because I'm special, because I do it every day. It's consistent. So, all right, I would love to do this, but it's not a good time for me. Will you do it again? It's only offered every few years. Whenever Spirit says do it, I do it. And it may be a sacrifice for you, and that sacrifice will be rewarded. It was a sacrifice for me to go to India. And it just happened. Whenever you really want to grow, you gotta stretch. You gotta stretch. So, oh, here's one I get. I'm afraid if I connect really with that light being, that he's or she's going to ask me to be like you. And I don't want to be in the limelight. I don't want to be the blabbermouth. And you know what the answer? Your spirit mate chose you because of your personality traits. I guess they knew I was the blabbermouth. And that when I get good news, I want to tell everybody. And one more thing. I don't know what a light being would expect of me. And the answer to that is my system will guide you. Before you leave, you're going to know why they chose you and what they expect. Now, you can attend live. It's October 19th or 20th, or you can come on Zoom, and there's 3 spots left. So I'm gonna drop, let me see if I can dropped. Where's my chat? Here we go. I'm gonna put the link in the chat, but I'll also send it to you after. Because if you're connecting now, can you imagine how you would connect if you were just in an environment where so many spirits were there? And the beings that I'm talking about tonight, yeah, they all want to be in the lineup, but you could connect with someone completely different. There's a system where I guide you and the light being actually comes to you. Now, it could be that some of you, you're already feeling a light being coming to you now. And do you have to come to my seminar to connect? No. But will you follow through the way you will if you do come? Will you meet with that light being every single morning and get really, really close? Will you have somebody to shepherd and guide you? If you can do it all by yourself, do it. You know, do it. Absolutely do it. It sometimes helps to have a loving guide that's come from being the most shy person on earth. It's hard to believe that now, right? Not one person in my high school would remember me, not one. Surely not grade school. Not one person. In college, they probably would, because I was 40 years old when I went, and I was mad at those little kids when they were disrespectful to the professor, and I would stand up and tell them. So they'd probably remember me. Okay, so 3 spots left. I keep it real small because I do hands-on prophecy for everybody. I do psychic surgery for everybody. And I can only do so many and give you my very best. And I'll never give you anything besides my very best. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that now? You can undo your mic if you do. Okay, well, let's move on to, let's see, no, I already did those. I already did Mary Magdalene, Roxy, Isis, Saint Teresa. Now I'm gonna tell you a little story. And I was so surprised. About 4 weeks ago, the goddess Hera came and said she wanted to work with me. And she signifies amplified awareness and her own struggles, even though she's supposed to be a goddess, but she sure had some human qualities of being betrayed, having intense jealousy, having envy. And so she'd like to work with someone who maybe you've been betrayed. Okay, you've been betrayed. And you're struggling, maybe you feel jealous, you feel envious. Either way, she would be a really great help to you. And so, what is she going to do for you? I love that. Don't you love it that I ask them, well, what's in it for them? Okay, and thanks to my husband for that. She says, freedom from the chains of guilt, shame, and blame. Because don't you feel guilty when you feel all envious or jealous? isn't it an ugly feeling? Gosh, I've only felt it a few times in my life, and oh, it's just terrible. And she says, I allowed myself to become poisoned, eaten alive by my sense of justified betrayal. She thought she was justified in being hateful because she was betrayed, and I'll tell you about that later. I channeled that poison outward to one who was innocent. I learned, and this is how my title of Amplified Awareness comes to be, because she learned and she does want to talk to you. So let me get out of the way. Yes, I am Hera here with a very powerful message for so many of you beloveds have been betrayed. People have been jealous of you, and vice versa. You have suffered from being jealous and envious of others who had seemingly more power than you, or more wealth than you, more talent than you. And with my help, it is time to realize that the power that you have, the being that you have, is what is important. And it is no longer or ever necessary to compare yourself to others. For when you allow yourself to feel less than, a poison begins in your soul. You cannot manifest because you begin to feel unworthy. And when you feel the guilt of your feelings of jealousy or envy or those kind of things, guilt is like a poison. Guilt and shame always go hand in hand together. And so, whether you choose to work with me or not, I encourage every one of you to drop into your heart and to ask the divine to show you your heart jewel, your worth, that you are a radiant beauty, and that you do not have to be jealous of anyone. You do not have to keep blaming anyone. You can walk forward with new power and light as you become aware of the emotions that have held you down, and you choose to let them go. Choosing to release blame of those who have harmed you is the greatest gift that you can give yourself. So it is. Oh, okay. Thank you, Hera. All right. Next is Hercules, which I'm like, Hercules? But wait till you hear the rest of the story. Now, Hercules only came like 4 or 5 days ago. And what he said, he's part human, part deity. Well, aren't we all? But he desires to connect with a human who needs strength and who has overcome much, or who needs to overcome much. He desires to make you strong, letting go of blame, and give you a newfound source of energy that will enthuse and elevate you to turn in any direction that you desire. He will help you attract more clients, more gigs, more money. Letting go of blame makes you an overcomer. It turns you into an attractor factor. Now, let me tell you the strange connection between Hercules and Hera. I didn't know this because I never look any light being up until I get a bunch of messages. Then I might go say, well, what's a connection? Because I felt there was a connection between Hercules and Hera. Well, Hera was married to Zeus, and Zeus came down to earth and had a little fling with a human woman. And guess who was born? Hercules. Well, Hera was so jealous and she felt betrayed. I mean, bring your little old dick home, Zeus. And she took it out on the boy. She sent snakes to fight him. He just killed him. He was strong. He was born strong. She cursed him. He overcame madness. He overcame all that and became a strong, strong overcomer. So, can you see why they're both coming, and both, I feel very humble. Hera saying, I went through it. I have more awareness now of my emotions, or anyone emotions. Like if you were a healer and you got with Hera, she would help you see your clients' pitfalls and see what your clients needed to let go of, and yet present it in such a gentle way that they would be able to do it. Hercules desires, he's overcome, he overcame all that. He overcame madness. And he's an overcomer. He's strong. And it doesn't say anything anywhere of how he tried to retaliate or any of that. But he was an innocent victim. And yet he came out strong, glorious, offering to help. So I'm really proud. And he wants to talk. So I'm just going to let him talk. Okay. Yes, it is true that I have overcome much. And it is true that even though my attempts at life were thwarted and I managed to overcome, that through the trials that I had, I became strong. Yes, I was born strong in body and might, but it was the overcoming of the darts of poison sent against me that helped me to be an overcomer in spirit. And so it is a great union, a partnership to overcome physical things, mental things, spiritual things. And if a person would desire to partner with me, I would be a really big help in also letting go of blame. Like Hera, it would have done me no benefit to sit around whining and complaining. Well, she sent those snakes to bite me. She did this, she did that. I would never have the strength that I had. I would never have overcome madness, because it is so vital to let go of blame and to let go of feeling that you're responsible somehow for the burden someone put on you. I was a baby and hatred was sent against me, and yet somehow I did not take that hatred on as something that I deserved. I am truly strong in all ways, an overcomer, and desiring to share my strength with those who would desire to partner with me. So it is. Okay. Pretty good. Can I get an amen? How's it going so far? Are you loving this? Because I'm putting together, I'm not sure how to do it. I want once a week, I want to have a live channeling show, a live psychic advice show. It might be different every week, but won't that be fun? So I'm going to just do a little bit of teaching, and then I'm going to talk about Merlin. And some of you may have seen the video I did about your speech, because the last time I did this live channeling psychic advice thing, it was so much fun. And my husband took me out to dinner after, and I was just glowing. And I said to him, honey, that was so much fun. Why can't I get paid to just channel? Why can't people give me money for channeling and doing psychic advice. And Spirit says, Rebecca, you just guaranteed the universe has to show you 1,000 ways why you cannot get paid for channeling or giving psychic advice. And I said, ugh. And I actually started tapping, and I invite you, wouldn't you desire to get paid for doing what your soul loves? So I started tapping. Why is it so easy for me to get paid doing what my soul loves? Why is that so easy? Why is it so easy? And I invite you to do the same thing. And I invite you to watch what you're prophesying about yourself, to watch your language, and never say, why can't I get paid for? Oh, no, don't say that. Say, it's time for me to get paid doing what my soul loves. Shouldn't everyone in the world get paid for doing what their soul loves? Sometimes you might just have to start doing it and putting it out there and knowing that the way will come. Me, I'm going to have a show. I don't know how to monetize it, but the divine's never going to give you every step. What fun would that be? If you're waiting, well, God, you show me how to do this, and this, and maybe I'll do it. No, you get this inspiration and you take a baby step towards it. And so it is. Let's talk about Merlin. All right. He desires to connect with the human to experience love. I think I wrote an email about him. He's like, Rebecca, and I was surprised. I don't know anything about Merlin, by the way. I was surprised when he came to me and he said, people just want me for my magic and my bigness and all that. I want to be loved. I want someone to partner with me, but I want a heart connection first. And yes, if they partner with me, they're going to learn magic by osmosis. I'm just going to read you some of what he said, and then I'll see if he wants to talk. He probably does. Everybody else has. After deep connection, your eyes will begin to be open to deep mysteries. Your life will be touched with magic. It will come so naturally. It will not seem odd. I desire for you to hold this new knowledge until you have grown in wisdom. Magic or psychic powers without wisdom is detrimental. So let's see what he wants to say. He wants me to sing a song. Y'all care? All right. I think my face is turning red because it's kind of a silly song. Well, I'm ready and I'm willing and I'm able to rock and roll all night. I'm ready and I'm willing and I'm able to rock and roll with you. For yes, I'm desiring to feel the joy of a human who desires to connect with me heart to heart and have real communion. And I desire to gain the emotions and the wisdom of a human who is experiencing life now and to help them experience that life more fully. This is not what anyone would expect me to say, for I am known as a powerful wizard, and yet my heart has never truly known deep love for myself, not for what I can do for people. And I know there's a lot of you who feel like you haven't been loved for yourself. You've only been loved for what you could give or what you could do for somebody. And you're the ones I'm talking to because you know what it feels like. And so, if you desire to have a relationship of love, all the other stuff will be added. But first, a commitment to heart love. This I have not truly known. I am Merlin. And yes, I am powerful, and yet I am weak in my need for this love. Are you the one to fully connect with me? So it is. And so it is. Wow. What a great bunch of light beings, right? So why don't we open it for discussion if anybody has questions about any of these light beings, anything we've done here. And of course, I want you to come to my seminar. If I don't know if the spaces got full already, but anything about anything that's happened tonight. A question for any of the light beings? A suggestion about the show? A name for the show? Okay, 2 participants raised their hand. Let's see if I can see who you are. Oh, let me see if I can see who. 3. Okay. Let me try something else. Okay. Well, I got my hand up. No. Okay, Marilyn, you have your hand up. So go ahead and unmute yourself and ask me what you want to ask me.
How do we connect with the one that we felt connected with our heart?
Okay. You would set aside a time for them. Okay, this is not a once a week connection. That's not a committed relationship. But I would do it once a day or at least once every other day. You just sit and you connect your heart with your imagination. You connect your heart to their heart. And have you taken any of my classes with the non-dominant handwriting?
No, I have not.
No, you haven't? Okay. I'll explain it briefly, but it's part of my system of connection that I teach, like in a seminar. You would say with your regular hand, you would write, "Dear so-and-so, I'm happy to connect with you." You would write them a love letter. "I feel your presence," etc., etc. And then you would just share your heart with them. And then you would switch the pen to the other hand. Do not wait for a spirit to grab your hand. You're going to get some information through the right side of your brain. When you put the pen in the other hand, it creates a neural pathway. And you would write, with your regular hand, "Do you have a message for me?" And then you're going to write with the opposite hand just 1 or 2 words. Do not be asking stuff like, "What are the numbers for the lottery?" In my book about Divine Mother Asna, I give specific written instructions how to connect with her, but you can use that to connect with any being of light. When I send a follow-up email tomorrow, I'll also put the link for that book, because It's a workshop in a book. And consistency is key. If you really want to connect, you really want to partner, do it every day or every other day. If you're not serious, you can connect every now and then. They're not going to hold it against you, but you're not going to have that partnership like they're desiring. Does that help?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So let's see who else had their hand up. Let me see. Okay. Colette, go ahead.
Hi, Rebecca. Listen, my question is, if I choose someone, if my heart goes to someone, how do I know that that person wants me to?
Your heart wouldn't go there, silly rabbit. Who do you think pulled on your heartstrings?
Well, it's been a while since you start talking about the ones that was going to be there and all that. And there's a specific one that my heart really goes to, that I feel some kind of connection. And that was my question. Is that person wants me as much as I want them?
More.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. Who's doing this? I'm not.
Okay, next question. I got a little part over there when you write with your left hand, right hand, left hand. I've been doing that before. Sometimes I feel that maybe the answers that I'm giving is something that I want to hear instead of the one that the entity wants to give me.
Okay. If you just let it flow real easy, it'll be fine. If you
Okay.
agonize over it, just leave it for a little while and come back. Because when you're agonizing, you're having conflicting energy. Usually, the first one or two words, they're from them. And some people are tempted not to switch to the non-dominant hand, and you don't get as much clarity, even though you're going to write sloppy, et cetera, or a lot of people say, I know, I'm already getting the answer. But
you know,
switch anyway,
but
switch anyway.
this time my handwriting got a lot better on the left hand than it did at the beginning.
Of course it does. Everything you do consistently gets better. That's why you have to connect consistently.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Okay. Is
Thanks
that
for,
it?
yes, thank you, I
All right,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next, Katie, would you unmute yourself? And Katie's
Am I
coming
muted,
to the
Emma?
seminar. By the way, you can come by Zoom or in person.
Am I muted?
No, I hear you.
Okay. I just, there's 4 things that I'm interested in, and one of them really stands out to me strong, but there's 4, so that's too many, right?
Well, it's kind of a lot to try to pay. Well, they could actually work together. I know Roxy would enhance any relationship.
She's one of them. She's one of them.
Okay. She's a real good frequency enhancer. So if she's one of them, but not the main one, if she's the main one, good. If she's just part of them, then you know what? At the seminar, I have a system that will do an exercise that will help the ones that want you more to step forward more,
Mhm.
and the others can be supporting.
Okay, but until I get to the seminar, is it okay to just start talking to the 4 that
Sure,
it's okay to just start?
sure. Well, they're probably fighting over you. If I was a spirit, I'd fight over you. Yeah. Well, they are. I mean, there's more spirits than people that want to partner. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
okay,
And tomorrow you can text me and tell me who the four are.
okay.
Okay. Let's see if anybody else has their hand up. Oh, Elizabeth, you're here. You're coming on Zoom. Colette already did. Angie.
Hi, Rebecca. Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's wonderful to be with everyone this evening. I have had dreams with almost 30 dreams with Isis over the course of the past 15, well, closer to 20 years now. And I just happened to stumble on this morning in my email about the seminar, because I don't usually go back. This is my really old email that I subscribe to you under, and I check it once in a while. So I'm like,
Oh, well,
I
subscribe under the new one. You might be
yeah,
missing
yeah,
good
or
stuff.
I'll just I'll start checking back on this old one. I think I had some emotional blockages that were keeping me from checking the old email account, frankly. It's, one of those tiny energetic things, but I'm really sensitive to energy stuff. But, and I hope it's okay to ask this, but I was feeling like she was going to give you some little bit that was specifically for me. Are you able to ask her? I hope that's okay to ask, but I just felt like there was some little thing she wanted me to know, because I've had a lot of illness. My dreams aren't coming through lately.
Okay, so what's going on with your feet?
Oh my gosh. I have on my right foot, I have battled it for over a year. I have plantar fasciitis. And
Okay,
it is excruciating. It almost feels like a bone is popped way down out of place. It gets so bad. It's awful. And I'm a Pisces, so I don't need any more complications with my feet, needless to say.
okay. Well, she just said that because she wants you to know that she knows you.
Yeah, she does. Yes, she does.
So also that has some emotional roots to it.
Okay,
Um,
that would
things,
make sense. I've had a lot of things come against me that have kept me from being able, I'll get really close to being able to make the move that I've desperately needed to make for over 30 years. And I didn't have enough information, and I was way too innocent for a long time. And I feel like that has built up in my feet and caused me to have
yes.
trouble. I also have very tiny feet. My feet haven't grown since 3rd grade.
I
And
know it's almost like I can see you. They're almost too small to hold you up, like you're just kind of
yes,
falling over. Like,
and I do tend to trip a tiny bit. I have one leg a
yeah,
little bit longer than the other. And so those things with the foot that's really needing something that they say isn't possible is, which I don't believe, but I know anything can be healed. But yeah, it's been a really uncomfortable past couple of years for me. It's really been an issue. And, just the emotional things that contribute to that sometimes are just a lot.
yes,
So
yes, they are. Well, I hope you check your email more often
I
because we
will.
have healing classes. We have all kind of things going on here.
Yeah, I think I got your asthma book, the Mother Asthma book that you did.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good while back, but it seems like I had that, and then I blessed someone else with the book after I read it. Somebody at work, I think, noticed it when I was reading it at lunch and was like, "Oh, could I see that?" And I said, "Yes, please go ahead and enjoy and get from it what you need." So
Okay. Well, it's good talking to you, Angie.
thank you, Rebecca. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
be back with you again. Sometimes we just
Yes,
kind of
and
circle back to these
make
things.
more of the connection because she can help you a lot.
Yeah,
You think too much, is what she says. You think
I
too much.
do.
You want all the details before you make a move, and it's never going to happen.
And I've started kind of realizing that there isn't a perfect plan, and it's okay to just kind of trust and go ahead. It's not there. You can't plan for every contingency. It's just
No,
not possible.
Look, honey, there's that much knowledge you need. You need the inspiration and ask for guidance. How can I take a baby step in that direction and then do it? It shows no faith, no trust at all if you need all the information first. But now, if you've been hurt a lot in your life, you are afraid
Yes.
and you
Yeah.
have a need for more information, and it's your great trial to overcome and to trust anyway. And once you start doing that and not expecting the worst, I'm sure you were listening when I was watching my language.
Yes, and I was like, there was something in there specifically for me with that, because I think a lot about languages too, because I speak English and Spanish and bits of Hebrew and Arabic and blah, blah, blah. And so language is very important to me. And I listen to the different generations, and I listen to the way that immigrants acquire language and how kids do it and all of these things. So, and I'm also an engineer, so I overthink literally everything
Okay.
and have to put all the pieces
You need to work
together.
on your right brain, honey. Do
Yeah.
the writing. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you,
Nice talking
Rebecca.
to you.
Appreciate your
Anybody else?
time.
Oh, anyone else have a question or a comment? Elizabeth, did you want to talk? Hey, yes, you're coming too on Zoom. Yay. Oh, there's your kitty cat. How beautiful.
There she is.
You want to say something?
No, just bye. Bye.
Oh, you just want to say hi? Well, thank you for saying hi. You have wonderful hair. You have so much. I always love to see people with a head full of hair, and I hope they're thankful to God for it. I have to do everything to fluff mine up a little bit. Okay. Folks, it has been wonderful. You'll get this replay tomorrow. If there's any spots left, I want you to come to the seminar on Zoom or in person, because then I can hug you and really get connected on a level you just never thought you could. Your life will change. You'll just have breakthroughs. And I love you and thank you for being here. God bless you, and I'll see you again soon. Oh yeah, I got to start thinking of names for my show, so I'm going to ask for suggestions. God bless everybody.
God